Hey guys, what's going on? It is me Sam here and welcome to my Dagannoth Kings solo tribrid guide. So to start things off, I'm going to be covering the requirements that I'd recommend for you to have. So that's going to include the stats that you'd need and also the gear. And then I'm going to be moving on to the methods on how to get to the Dagannoth Kings and also how to actually kill them. I also recommend to check out the description of this video for any updates that I may post to keep you guys informed and up to date with any of the latest methods and things like that. Okay, so moving on to the stats, I recommend for you to have 90 attack, strength, defense, constitution and also ranged. This is that you'll be able to kill the Dagannoth Kings fairly fast and you'll be beating the spawns, because if you are slow and you find yourself having multiple Dagannoth Kings on you, you will find yourself getting hit a lot and you'll be eating a lot of food. So make sure you do have these stats, as then you'll be able to kill them fast and move on to the next one as soon as you can. The next stat that I recommend for you to have is 92 magic. This gives you access to the Bloodfire Barrage spell, so you'll be able to heal from wrecks just to get that extra bit of HP back to make your trip just that little bit more easier. And some other levels which I recommend for you to have is 96 Herblore. Obviously this is for the overloads. It's just going to help you out big time in boosting your stats and just speeding up the kills. And like I said, it's going to help a lot in terms of beating the spawns and moving on to the next monster before it does spawn. So another stat that I recommend for you to have to help speed up the kills is 95 Prayer. This gives you access to the highest leveled curses on the book, including Soul Split, Turmoil, Anguish and also Torment. And the final level that you will need to have is 96 Summoning. This means you can have an extra 30 invent spaces, meaning that you can store more items and just overall make your trip last longer. You also have the ability to bank stuff such as the Dagannoth hides, which means you'll be able to make a bit of extra cash from the side just by having the pack yak. So yeah, I definitely recommend to have the pack yak. Anything lower, maybe a unicorn, but yeah, you'll find it hard. Okay then, so the one you can see on the screen right now is my melee action bar. Now I've always used this one and it's pretty good. It's only towards the end where these ones aren't really too necessary. They're just spare ones that I've put over, but the main ones you want to use is 1 to R, and yeah, that should do you well. You might want to include sort of like some food or some prayer potions on these two slots here. That could be fairly helpful. And seeing this as this is a tribrid guide, you're going to need more than one setup. So if I'm going to go to my next one, this is my range setup, so I'm going to equip my Zaret bow so you guys can see their abilities. As you can see, they've switched over, and this is what I use for range. Again, I've got some at the end here which aren't really required, but you might want to switch these out for something else which you might want to use. And finally, I have my magic action bar, and again, feel free to copy the abilities if you want to. Now, seeing as this is magic, you're going to require a spell. I like to use Bloodfire Barrage as it allows me to heal from Rex, which is the one you mage, and also on the rock lobsters on the way down there just to get some extra HP. So now moving over to the things you need to bring with you. I'm going to start over with the invent first. So it is tribrid, so you're going to need to have all different weapons to beat the combat triangle. So I've got my Drygors here. I've then also got my Chaotic Staff. I'm also wielding my Zaret bow, so that's covering all of the three different methods. And then for the same, you need to have that for the armor. So I've got Torva, Ganodermic and Pernix. You could probably use a Torva. You could use Bandos instead of Torva. For the Ganodermic, I guess you could wear Subjugation, and then for the Pernix you could wear Armadillo. I've actually used that before and it still works. It's perfectly fine. Just do remember though, I am maxed out in stats, so if you have got lower stats you will find it a little bit more difficult. But now moving on to the next part, we've got my Penance Aura. It's important to have these two auras with you. I've got a Vampirism on me as well. It's important to have these as it's going to help you out a lot, especially the Vampirism. This is a big, big thing to have. It's going to help you out a lot, especially towards the start, so I definitely recommend to have that. And then the penance you use afterwards to get some prayer points back, so that's going to be nice to use. I've got a Relica tablet to actually teleport me to or close to the Waterworth Island. This will take me to Relica, so I just got to run north and take the boat. I've got one like rocktail here just for emergency food on the way there or something. I've then got prayer pots, some overloads and prayer renewals. I've got loads of yaks. Now you might notice I haven't got any restore potions. That's because the place where Dagannoth Kings are, there's a little summoning obelisk which is very close by, which I just recommend to use. It's not too big of a deal by just quickly running up there and back. So yeah, that's what I like to do. And then of course I've got my runes here to use when I use magic. Even though you're going to be using abilities, it's still good to have some runes with you, so you can still heal from, like I said, Rex or the rock lobsters. So now over to what I'm actually wearing. Start off, I've got a Pernix cowl. I've got my Vampirism Aura. Some of these things I've already covered, so you can just sort of go back on the video and listen to them again. I've got my Completionist cape. You could probably switch this out for like a Max cape or a Tokar cowl cape. aka the Kiln Cape. That'll still be alright. I've got a Fury, Barry's gloves. Now you're probably wondering why Barry's gloves, you know, they're fairly newbie compared to everything else, but that's just because they are actually pretty good. And as you can see there, their type is all, so it covers all different combat styles, so it's just very helpful. And to be fair, they are pretty decent, so I just like to use them, and they're cheap too, only 100k, so that's good. Got my Zarek bow, just like to start off with that, looks kind of nice with the Pernix. And then I got my Pernix chaps and body. Down here I got a Ring of Vigor. Now this is very important. Whenever you go to kill Supreme, which I'm going to cover in later, whenever you use a ultimate ability, this saves 10% of adrenaline, so you can, you know, get to thresholds faster to finish off the kills faster, which again I'm going to show you later in this video and you'll see what I mean. So it's nice to have a Ring of Vigor. You get that from Dungeoneering. If you haven't got it, then you can always switch out for like an Onyx ring or something like that. Berserker ring would be alright as well, I guess. And then finally, Fremnik Sea Boots 4. This is from the Elite tasks. And you're probably again wondering, why do I have them? They are very, very helpful, as all the Dagannoth Kings you kill, the bones that they drop become noted, so you don't need to worry about using your yak to actually bank them. You can just simply just click on the bones and they'll already be noted, and it just saves a lot of time and hassle from having to bank them. And the bones are worth about 8k each, so these are very, very good, and it's definitely worth replacing these over you know, some of the better boots, such as like Glavens, or you know, the Glacier boots like that. So that's pretty much it for the invent and what I'm actually wearing. Now over to my summoning familiar. It's fairly simple. If I right click on it, there we go. The first two rows I've got Rocktails. It's always important to have it in this order, because when you are down at DKs and you do need to get some food, you can simply just right click here and go and take Bob, and you can get some food in your invent and you can quickly heal. If you had the prayer pots first, then you'll be doing that and you'll just die. You will really die, because they do just own you if you're, you know, not paying attention or you're low on food. So definitely have some backup food and make sure these are first in the first two rows. And then next I've got loads and loads of prayer pots, just because once you're sorted, once you're down at Dagannoth Kings, only the first stage is the hardest. Once you're down and finished that, it's actually really easy. And the Dagannoth Kings even drop food as well quite often, so it's always nice to, you know, get that drop. So that's why I tend to bring a lot more prayer flasks over food, because you just don't need food as much, only at the first stage. And then the last two slots, sorry, are overloads and a prayer renewal, just as an extra sort of thing. You know, if I ever need to use it, then that's always there. So that's pretty much it for everything that I bring. And yeah, we're now actually going to go on to how to actually get there. So I've now got the map open, and because I have got that Relica tablet, whenever I use it, it's going to teleport me straight here, just a little bit south of Relica, so it's very, very helpful and fast to get to Waterworth Island, which is where the Dagannoth Kings are. However, if you haven't got a Relica tab, you can simply just teleport to the Fremnik Lodestone here, which is pretty much the same location, so just use that and then run around and you'll be in Relica, which is always good. And then once you are here, you want to use this boat here, as you can see by my cursor, there's a guy who stands here, and you just right click and travel to Waterworth, and then you appear on this little island here, and then you just want to simply run around and you'll come to this little tunnel or dungeon, as it says. And this part is interesting, as you will actually need another person to help you get into the room. If I do click on the dungeon, and I can show you what I mean. Okay, then, so what you want to do is, well, first of all, actually, there's 3 doors. There's one at the top, in the middle, and then down at the bottom, and there's going to be 2 pressure plates on every door. What you want to do is you and your friend has to stand on one of them, or, you know, one on each, and you click on the door and it will open. Then what you want to do is run south down to the bottom door, and then do the exact same and open that door, and then one of your friends has to run through, and then the other person has to run back, and that's the way to get into Dagannoth Kings, or on the way there. And then you just want to continue to run through here. There are some monsters, so you've got like Dagannoths in the starting area, then you've got some giant rock crabs and some more Dagannoths down there, but they really aren't too bad and they won't hit you at all, so don't worry about that. But what you want to do then is just continue running down, and you come to this ladder, and there's actually some there's like a blockage in the way, and you need to fire a weapon at it. So that's either from magic or range, because you know you can't actually get right up next to it, so you need one which has got like a range on it. So knock them down. It's really not too bad. Just click on it and it'll fall down, and then your friend has to do that to you, and then you'll be able to actually go down into the dungeon and make your way to Dagannoth Kings. Okay then, so once you've got rid of the door supports, you'll be in this area where I am right now, and there's this ladder. Now you can climb up, which will take you to a safe spot, so if you ever need to sort of just, get back on track, think what you're doing, then that's fine up there, maybe if you need to heal up or anything. But if you actually want to get to DKs, then you can climb down the ladder. But first I'm just going to climb up the ladder to show you guys what I mean. So up here, if you ever need to switch something out or just make sure you're ready to actually do this, then you can just sort of chill up here and just wait for, yourself to be ready. Now, on the way to DKs, you're going to be encountering a lot of monsters which use ranged and magic to, do damage to you. So it is recommended to wear something which is going to protect you from that. So I just like to wear my Torva plate body and my Pernix chaps, and that should keep me protected a little bit more than, just wearing one combat style. Now this part you're going to have to sort of listen in very carefully because it is still very confusing even for your first time watching it, but I do recommend to sort of just really take note of what I do here. So the first thing you want to do is have your prayer open and prayer magic. You don't need to switch interfaces or anything like that, so just pray magic, and you want to continue running around. Now you're going to see these ladders. As you can see, I'm switching prayers. This is because I know what to pray. I know what these monsters are going to hit on me, so for these stages you just got to sort of watch what I do and pray what I do as well, and you'll be fine. Like really on the way down it isn't too bad. Like you will get a couple hundred life points off, but apart from that you should be able to get there fairly easily. And like I said, with the bloodfire barrage which you've got, you can just use that to heal from, and you'll be ready to go down to the DK. So just run through here. Like I said before, if this is your first time, then definitely get a friend to come with you. If a friend to show you how to do it, or if you're doing it in a team, then that's always nice as well. And sort of just get familiar with where to go. I remember when I was coming DKs for the first time, I was very scared of how to actually get there because it just seemed very confusing. But now I know it off by heart, and I know exactly what to pray at what time. So just a couple of trips, and you'll sort of know where to go as well. So it really isn't too bad. So just keep running through the tunnels, and we are actually coming up to the rock lobsters now, which I said this is where you heal from. It's pretty decent. Just as you can see, my health bar is going down now, so it's always nice to sort of just pull out, say, soul split and bloodfire barrage and just gain some HP back, and really just prepare for the DKs fight. As when you do go down into DKs, you've got to have full health, and really be ready for it, because at the very start it is the hardest, because you could have all three Dagannoths on you, which will really KO you. So this is the final ladder for the rock lobsters. As you can see, they're going to be standing here. So what I like to do is pray melee, as they will hit melee on you, or they will use melee damage on you, and just put on my magic gear, so just switch to that. Also use the shift keys for your action bar, so you can switch really fast. And if you ever got charms before from these, all you've got to do is simply lure them around, and you'll be good to go. So just run down here and lure a couple. So this will be alright like this. So just wait for them to all get on you, and then just run back, and you just want to sort of trap them with this rock here. So I like to stand on this square, and as you can see, I've trapped them all, and there's quite a lot of lobsters here. So what I like to do is just turn on soul split, make sure you've got prayer points as well. Mine's fairly low, and simply just make sure you've got your bloodfire barrage selected. So if I just do that now, there we go, and attack them. As you can see down here, my HP is just going to go up, and it's just going to sort of help me out instead of having to use my food already before I've even got into the DK's lair. So this is what I like to do. As you can see, there's still loads of rock lobsters, so it's just good. It should heal me to pretty much close to full HP, so that's really good like that. So just heal up, and you'll be ready to go to the next part. Okay, so I've finished healing on them rock lobsters. Again, all you got to do is put back on the armor you had before to protect yourself from magic and range. And what I like to do is pray ranged. It doesn't really matter here. I mean, all you've got to do now is just run past them all, and then you'll be at the very final stage before you actually enter the lair of the Dagannoth Kings. So as I'm running through here, there is the ladder, which is where you go down for Dagannoth Kings. But before you go down there, it's always nice to just run up here. There's that summoning obelisk I was on about, where you can just go up and quickly get some summoning points. Always use that when you can. And then there's also like a little safe spot around here. If they've got any sort of Dagannoths on you, you can just stand here to stop them from hitting you. So from this point on, you got to really get ready. You got to drink your overloads, turn on your auras. First of all, check the world is free as well. So when you are running this way, just run down, check if there's anyone in there, and you'll be good to go. And yeah, so I'm going to get ready now. I'm going to move on to the next step, and we're actually going to start killing these Dagannoths. Okay, so just a bit of background information before we actually encounter these Dagannoths. There are 3 in total. Each and every one of them use a different combat style, and you want to use the opposite of that combat triangle to actually deal damage to them. So first of all, we've got Supreme, which is going to be the first one we're going to go down to. So once we're down there, he uses range to hit on you. So what you want to be doing is getting your melee weapons out, and also wearing your melee armor, because obviously this is going to be the best against range. So make sure you've got that on. And then after that, we're going to be killing Rex, which he uses melee on you. So you want to hit with magic, so you wear your chaotic staff and your Ganodermic. It's always sort of nice to get your invent in like a nice order so you can quickly switch, because you're going to need to do that a lot, especially with the weapons, the armor, the action bars, and also the prayer. So make sure you're familiar with that before you go down here. But then once you've killed Rex, all we've got left is Prime, which uses magic to hit on you. So all you've got to do for that is get your ranged out and you'll be good to go. So you just attack them like that, and with these correct combat styles, you'll be able to hit really good damage on them, and you'll be able to like fly past them and just get loads and loads of kills in. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to gear up now. So seeing as we're going to take on Supreme, he's going to be using range, we're going to need to use melee. So I'm going to put my Drygos on, we've got my Torva, I'm going to switch my action bar and also get my prayers ready. So I'm going to have to pray range there and also turmoil. So there we go. But before we do go down, you want to get some adrenaline going. So just hit some of the nearby Dagannoths, and I recommend to get about 60%, just so when you do go down there, you do have the ability to use some thresholds just to sort of kill them a bit faster, because like I said at the very start, that is the hardest part of Dagannoth Kings, because there is the chance of having all 3 of the Dagannoths on you and they will KO you. And I'm not even just saying that, like even at the gear I've got, they will KO me, and I have died multiple times here because of that. So you've got to be really careful about this, but sometimes you can navigate it pretty well. It sort of just depends on what's happening. So I've got about enough adrenaline now, so what I'm going to do is just go down. I'm going to drink my overloads. I have got my aura on already, and as you can see, here are the 3 Dagannoths. Now that is the one I need to get, is Supreme. He is sort of in the middle at the moment, so even at this stage, if I'm clever and be a ninja, I can sort of get around and he won't see me. But as you can see, he has just seen me then, so I'm gonna have to go straight in and start attacking him. I'm gonna have to tank all of these hits. So as an example, this is what can happen if you have all 3 of them on you. So you've got to be really careful here. You've got to go crazy with the abilities. You've got to have food on the go, and you've got to be really careful, because you can get comboed. So I'm going to take some food from the Bob there. You can switch prayers depending on how you think you're getting hit. If you're getting hit a lot with magic, switch to magic. If it's melee, switch to melee. It really just depends on what gear you've got. But as you can see, I'm doing all right. Like I said, even if you are eating a lot of food towards the start, it's okay, because like I said, they do drop food eventually, so it doesn't really matter anyway. You can just eventually pick it all up and things like that. So once you've killed Prime like that, you want to run down to the east side here, and because Rex is in melee, he's going to run up to you. So I'm not going to pray melee now because I've got Supreme or Prime, sorry, on me. And what you can do here is you can lure them, and my prayers just dropped, so I've got to be really careful there. Wow, I nearly died. So there we go. I've just lured him now. That's how you do it. And as you can see, from now on, I can actually mage him. So if I'm just going to, prepare myself, get ready, get some curses on the go, and keep praying magic. You've always got to be careful. Once you've got this stage out the way, like where you literally got 1-on-1, it's a lot easier, trust me. It's just the very start, it's hard, so you've got to be careful here. But as you can see, I've sort of cleared up a little bit, and I'm always going to have food in my invent. I do recommend to have food in your invent at all times, because that you can have some surprise prayer drops and it starts hitting you like crazy. So make sure you have got food, and you'll be fine. So there we go. So once this one's dead, it'll be literally just a 1-on-1, and from that moment on, it will be a lot easier, and it's just it's just so much easier, and you'll be getting food, you'll be getting loads of kills, and it's overall just a really fun boss to do. So there we go, I've just killed it, and there is a weird glitch at the moment where this thing keeps popping over where you want to click, and it's just you can't right click, so that's kind of strange. So seeing as that one's died, you want to switch to your range, as it's using magic, and you want to just switch to the right prayers, or action bars and things like that. And as you can see, this is how you really do it. I mean, like I said, it is confusing at the very start. I do strongly recommend to definitely go in a team for this boss. Like I would never try soloing this for the first time. So make sure you go in a team to sort of get familiar with how to do it. You want to be making sure you're standing in the right spots as well, especially for Prime, the one I'm on now. You want to stand in this corner, because if you get too close, this guy down there will start attacking you, and you don't want that. You really, all the time, you just want 1-on-1, and it will just make it a lot easier. So with Prime being dead like that, I can now move on to the next one. So I'm going to switch to my melee action bar. I'm going to put my Drygos on, and also switch back to my range prey, and also turmoil. I'm getting out of breath here, guys, because it's just crazy. This is what it's like with commentary if I was to do it. There's a lot of things you need to take into consideration. This is actually quite a fairly difficult boss at the very start to sort of get used to, so make sure you know what you're doing. As you just saw then, I did use the ultimate ability Berserk, so as you can see I've just completely torn Supreme, and it is like really easy. And about the drops I was on about, as you can see the Dagannoth bones, whenever I go over it, it's already noted. That's because of the Fremnik boots that I have, so I can just pick these up, and they're actually worth about 8k each, so it's really good money. And if you've got enough time, feel free to pick up the Dagannoth hides as well. I think they're worth about 3-4k, and that's pretty good money as well. So with Rex being spawned like that, I just like to tag him, so just do that. And obviously put on the prayers. Now when it gets to the point with Rex, you can actually soul split him. If you stun him at the right point, and if I switch to the right action bar, there we go. If you stun him or lure him, you can actually heal quite a lot off of him. So like now, he's one where you can get a lot of HP from. So just you know, make sure you've got him in the right spot. It's actually fairly easy for Rex. You know, you just got to stand on the east side, wait for him to come to you, and then just run up here, and you'll be fine. If he does, you know, escape from it, so if he's here, right now he's stunned, but if he runs around, you can just sort of go to this spot here, and then again, if you mess up, you can go there. So you've always got backup plans in case that happens, but it shouldn't really happen too often, only a couple of times. So just continue killing him, and that's really it, guys. That's honestly how you kill DKs. You've got to make sure you're fast, because if I'm killing Supreme down there and Rex spawns, it really does get quite messy and you'll be getting hit a lot. Something to look out for as well is your prayer. Because of this new interface setting, I'm not used to it, and I keep forgetting to do my prayer, and as you can see, Prime is on me, so it's quite crazy at the moment. This is a spot, if you are standing at, he will be able to see you, so you've got to make sure, you know, if you can, try and stay on this sort of side if you can, because you know these other guys will start attacking you, so you just got to make sure about that, and you know, always be on the ball, switching to what you need to, praying what you need to, and it's a really beneficial boss. Like all these Dagannoths, they drop like the dragon hatchets, which are worth 5 mil at the moment. They drop loads of rings, and they're really just quite a nice boss to go to. Once you know what to do, they're easy, and it's incredibly good money. Yesterday I did a video, I went there for about 2 hours and a half, I made 20 mil from it, and I enjoy it. I do like this boss. It's probably my favourite boss in RuneScape, so if it's something that you enjoy and you're making that much money, that's just a win-win. So yeah guys, that's really it for this video. Always check the description for any updates that I decide to post, and also leave any comments if you have any queries or anything like that that I might have missed, and I can reply back to you and give you all the information you need. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.